All right, YouTube. So we're going to take a look today at my 2022 Polaris Sportsman 570. Just talk about it, do a little bit of a walk around. It's got about 65 hours on it. I've had it for about 3 months. And man, I got to tell you, all I've had is side-by-sides for the last 5 or 6 years. And man, I bought this and I really like it. It's got some features that I really like. And we'll talk a little bit about some of the stuff I like, some of the stuff I don't like. So the first thing that I don't really like about it is, nobody really makes a lot of suspension lifts or anything for these 570s. The only thing that I could find was the Super ATV bracket lift, and it's a 2-inch. Well, in order to install it, if you look right here, the top mounts to the top shocks. See if you can see it in there. It goes up into the front plastics. So in order to access it, you would have to pull this whole front off. So let me show you. Looking here, I probably got a little bit of a mess, but this is where they come into. So I wish they would have made like this, some sort of a removable or something, so you could get to the bolts, but they're not on both sides. They're the same thing. So tons of storage. I do like that. Yeah, I got some drink mixers in there, my iPad, some baby wipes, some koozies. I mean, there's just tons of storage up here up front. So I really like that. I just don't like that suspension setup, because in order to put that 2-inch kit on, I got to pull this whole front cap off. So I really didn't want to get into that, so I did not elect to put the 2-inch kit on here. Well, now that I've put these tires and wheels on, I'm kind of reconsidering it, because I do have 20-inch HD wheels and 30-inch reptile tires. So I don't really like the suspension setup. I like the normal spindles down at the bottom, so you could put a regular adjustable A-arms and stuff on it, but this one doesn't have that setup. Other than that, it did not come stock with a winch. It did come with this brush guard, and I really like the brush guard. It protects the bike very well. I installed a KFI, I don't know if you guys can see it, KFI 3,500 pound winch. And again, this video is not sponsored or anything, but KFI 3,500 pound winch with synthetic rope, and it plugged right into the stock harness. Very clean kit from KFI, and then the controller plugged right in to the stock harness here on the handlebars as well. So very clean kit. I do like the Polaris setup because the switch is like more it's more intricate in design, so it kind of like sits flush on the handlebars. You don't have this sticking up, but this doesn't bother me. It's clean. I like it. So overall, KFI 3,500 pound winch. I've used it a couple of times, not to pull me out, but I actually pulled a couple of trucks at the beach out with it. So it works very well, very strong. It bolts right in, plugs up to the stock harness. Now, one thing they don't tell you when you buy it is, if you have this brush guard, there's a bracket here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a bracket right here that you have to buy, because it won't bolt in these bottom holes at the stock location. And so all together with the winch, synthetic rope, the bracket and everything was about 420 bucks. Not too bad for a 3,500 pound winch. So I like it. It works well. So let's talk about some of the features it has that I really do like. And this is going to be in the gauge cluster. So I'll turn that on right now, and we'll talk about some of those. So again, I got about 65 hours on this bike. So to go into the options, you just press and hold mode, and we'll go into advanced first. We'll talk about the advanced settings. So two things that it has, because it's password protected, you can put any pin you want in. It's got max speed. So if you guys are like me, you know, I got a 5-year-old daughter, and you're trying to teach her how to ride, you can set that. Let me go back. So you can set that, you know, to 6 miles an hour until they learn how to ride. This is the ESP model. It's got 3 modes on the ESP, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. It's got a low, medium, and high on the ESP, so I really like that. Now, once you set the max speed, they can't go over that. I mean, you can give it all the throttle you want, and it will not go more than 6 miles an hour. So that's a good feature. You can set it on 6, 8, 10, and all the way up to 60. Of course, when I'm riding, I keep it off, and I keep it on performance, but that's just for me. But very, very nifty for the kids. So let's go back in here, show y'all something else. It's got what they call a geofencing, and I wasn't quite sure what that was, and I read a little bit in the manual about it. And what it is, you can download an app on your phone, and you can turn that feature on, and you can walk a parameter, you know, any type of parameter you want, and set it on the app and turn it on the bike. And if it breaks that parameter, it puts the bike in a limp mode, where they basically can't go anymore. So that's a very good feature. I really like that. Now, we live way out in the country. We got property, so I don't use it, but it is very, very handy. So we'll talk about some of the options we have. Of course, your units can go into miles per hour, or whatever you want on your unit, your clock. Your color, you can actually change the color if you want, to blue, to red, back to blue. I keep it on blue. That's just me. You can change the brightness level. If you want to turn it down, you can, or you can turn it up. So I really like that. So service hours, I got it set at 25, and what that does is it counts down. So right now I'm over 25 hours. I've already did my 25-hour service. So anyway, so here's the ESP setting. So if you go in here, you can put it on low, medium, or high, and that just gives you, you know, how much assist you have with the power steering. I always keep it on high. One thing that I do realize, if you ride on the road a lot with the ESP on high, it road walks a little bit. I think that's kind of typical with any ATV, with ATV tires, mud tires, or whatever on it, but it seems to road walk a little more than it would when you're on low. So the modes that it has, it's got performance, it's got standard, and then it's got work. If you're doing any pulling or anything, it already comes with one auxiliary switch. I do not use it. And then it gives 2 more spaces for other auxiliary switches. I was going to use it, but I elected to go with the switches here. The reason, because when I put this stereo system on, which this is Froghead Industry in Beaumont, Texas. When I put the stereo system on here, they put the switches inside here, and it leaked, and water was constantly getting in there, and I was having problems. So I silicone that shut. I know it looks a little shabby, but I don't have to worry about any water getting in. So this setup here works very well. I haven't had any problems out of it whatsoever. Got my LED lights, and then I also got my light bars. So these are just Travelers from Tractor Supply. Flush mount. Turn them off. Flush mount. I cut the holes out, mounted them in there, and then siliconed them so they wouldn't leak. They work very good at night. They give you a lot more than your stock headlights. A lot. It's like artificial sunlight at night. They really work. Some of my people that I ride with that have big light bars have said mine's brighter than theirs. So they work very good. Another feature that I like is the tail lights. Man, it looks really cool. I really like that, the way it looks. So it's got a good sturdy rear rack here. I really like this. I have an ice chest that mounts, right in the middle. It's a 25 quart, and it hooks here and here, and I mean sets dead center of that rack, and I don't have any issues whatsoever with the ice chest. I do have my rear shocks on soft, so you get a loaded down ice chest, and my 250-pound butt on here, and my 105-pound old lady, it kind of squats and ass in a little bit, so I really need to turn them shocks up. It does have fully adjustable shocks. I think there's 4 stages. See, I got them on soft, so I need to turn those up a little bit, but it rides so good that I don't really want to change it. I am getting some rub right here with the 30s. It's kind of already wore a groove in there. However, it doesn't bother me. It might bother some people, but it doesn't bother me. I'm thinking if I do buy that 2-inch kit and put it on here, it'll fix that. So I clear them in the front very well. I don't have any problems, except for if I turn all the way, there's a little bit of rub, but I don't have to turn all the way a lot of the time. So the system that I have, it's 4 Kicker KM8s running off of MB quart, amplifier inside the box, and a frog head unit, and man, it sounds really good. So I really like it. I've had a couple of issues, some water getting in here. I had to take everything out, let it dry, stuff like that, but I took care of those and haven't had any problems. So overall, man, she's got a lot of torque. Not much for high end. I done forgot what the horsepower was on these, 40 something, I think. I did have one problem, and I really don't like this, and I've been trying to figure out a way to fix it. Of course, right now I don't want to void my warranty. It's where the belt box breeze. Man, it's right underneath that tire. Show you guys that. It's already got a little dust and mud in there, and I ain't done much riding today. So, man, it's right there underneath that tire. So if you're like splashing and going through a bunch of water, like for instance, if you guys have been on the creek trail in Sabine ATV Park, if you fly down that thing, it will catch some water in there, and the belt will go to slipping, and you'll have to sit there and wait for it to dry. I haven't looked for a drain just because I haven't got it that wet. I don't ride that deep. Maybe it does have a drain. I'd have to look for it. So I don't like that. I've been throwing around another thing I'll show y'all is up underneath the seat. There's another storage compartment that I really like. I don't have anything in here, but I plan on putting some toe straps and stuff in here. But man, there's a nifty little storage compartment down here that's got a pretty good bit of room in it. Can you guys see that? So it goes a pretty good ways back in there. Let's see if I can get a deal. I mean, it's a good foot and a half in there, so I really like that. I've been throwing around options. If you guys know of anything, let me know. But that's where the belt breather is. Running it kind of up through here, maybe. I don't know, somehow, but I would have to reduce the pipe size, and I don't want to cause my clutches or anything to overheat. So if you guys know any plausible fixes for that, and y'all comment and let me know so I can get something in the works on that. Again, I'm filming this on my phone. I don't have a whole lot of camera equipment or anything like that. But anyway, overall, guys, 2022 Sportsman 5.7. If you don't have a bike, if you don't need a bike with all that horsepower like them 1000s, I know they're fun to ride. You just want something that's good, get you down the trail, and have a lot of fun on. Man, this thing is it. Again, you can't go in a whole lot of deep mud or water because of that, where that belt box breeze at. So definitely, if you're a big mud rider, snorkels will probably be the first thing you do. I mean, I do some mud riding, of course, but I don't have to go handlebar deep anymore, you know. So anyway, if y'all have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know, and I'll be happy to go over with them, share my thoughts. Overall, I really like this bike, and I plan on giving it to my daughter and probably buying me another side-by-side a little bit later on. So, all right, YouTube, y'all be good at it. Mixture of both, and y'all like, comment, subscribe.